Do you guys still remember the story about the Nigerian boy that was stabbed to death by his white girlfriend in Florida, United States earlier this year in April of 2022? We have talked about this story before and now there is a major update. A major problem. Quite a dilemma if you ask me. The situation now with this case is so tricky, and it might play a very big role on whether or not Christian Obumseli, the victim, would get his justice. Just a quick recap of the story so far. Christian and Courtney used to date, but in April of 2022, she was arrested at their apartment for allegedly murdering her boyfriend Christian. But the arrest was very brief because she was immediately released after she claimed it was out of self-defense, saying that he was the one who tried to strangle her and she was only trying to get away from his grip. And so she was released and allowed to go about her day, going to clubs, meeting sugar daddies. She pretty much moved on with her life after killing her black boyfriend. But then the black community, or a segment of the community, were not exactly happy with the victim. I mean, this would have been a George Floyd case where the black community is speaking out, protests and people screaming Black Lives Matter for a black man who was murdered by his white girlfriend, and the white girlfriend is going to hotels and hanging out with men at clubs and bars and partying after killing somebody. But he did not exactly get the protest or the voice that would have most likely gotten her arrested or charged on time. And the reason was tweets of Obumseli began resurfacing from Twitter. And a lot of his tweets were so anti-black women. He was so vocal about how he loves white women and how he wants to marry a white woman and how black women are this or that. And I think because of those tweets, the black community basically ignored his case and turned a blind eye. I guess that was why he did not get as much support as he should have gotten. However, though his family still pushed, they did not stop chasing justice for their son or their brother, and eventually they were able to get some CCTV footage that shows the girl physically abusing the boy on an elevator. And I guess this proves that she was the aggressor or the abuser in the relationship, since she was claiming self-defense at the time she killed him. This video clearly proves that she was the violent one and the bully in the relationship. So earlier this month, in August of 2022, Courtney was eventually arrested and charged for the murder of Obumseli Christian. I guess she's facing second-degree murder charges. After many months of walking free and, going about her life, you can imagine the privilege you get for looking like this. Even though she looks a mess, yeah. But the big problem is, she is claiming it was self-defense, that she did not stab him at close range, that she threw the knife at him and the knife hit him and killed him. However, the coroner report of Obumseli is saying that whoever stabbed him at close range. Very close range. But Courtney and her team are claiming that she only threw the knife from afar. So apparently, if she threw the knife from afar and it ended up killing him, I guess that would prove that they were having a dispute and she was most likely defending herself when the incident happened. But if they can prove that she stabbed him at close range, then I guess that would mean she deliberately killed him, or she meant to kill him when she plunged the knife inside of him. So that is the current dispute in this case right now between the two parties, or between the two lawyers. Now, this is where the problem comes in. It's being suggested by the court, according to some articles, that they would have to exhume his body and re-examine it to establish whether or not he was actually stabbed at close range or whether the knife plunged at him from a distance. But his family are frowning at that idea of digging him out of the grave just to take that examination, because they are saying it's against their faith as Christians. And clearly the judge or whoever is in charge would need the family's permission to exhume their loved one's body from the grave, someone that they had already buried. And that is currently the issue with this case. If the family really wants true justice for their loved one, they would have to go against their faith of exhuming his body, which they don't want to do. But it's something that they would have to do if they have to prove this girl wrong and make her go to jail for murder. So what is it going to be now? Would the family put their faith aside just this once for a shot at justice for their son? Or would they uphold their faith and allow the court or the system, judge the case based on just testimonies and witnesses? The thing is, the coroner report and the autopsy already says that he was stabbed at close range. But that was at the time before the girl was arrested. Now that the girl has been arrested, her lawyers want to put up a fight. And their claim now is she threw the knife from a distance. So now that the case is most likely in court, I guess they would have to re-examine the boy's body to be sure, or to prove beyond reasonable doubt from both parties that he was stabbed at close range. It's a very, very dicey situation. The family have expressed their disapproval for that idea to exhume his body, and they are saying things like it might traumatize them. I mean, his mother is still there, his father, they're still alive. He has siblings, and imagine the trauma they would have to go through again, having to dig him out of the grave and then still have to rebury him again. It's a whole lot, not to talk expensive, but I guess maybe the government will cover it for them. But it's still traumatizing and it's still against their faith. And I think that is the most important thing for the family, is against their belief as Christians or as believers of whatever faith they subscribe to. So what do you guys think the family should do? Do you think they should just suck it up and do it? Or do you think they should just leave it up to whatever evidence they already have? Because I feel like with the evidence that they already have, if they have to tell the judge to just judge the case based on whatever they have, the girl might have a chance at getting free again. Because, I mean, let's face it, the legal system there favors a certain type of skin color. It's not news that we know this. So, since they took 100 years to arrest her for killing a black man, clearly the system is in her favor. To get justice for him, they would have to work twice as hard. They would have to prove beyond reasonable doubt, and the only thing that they might have to do now is to get this body out again, let all the parties involved examine it and let them be sure that he was truly stabbed at close range. But that will cost the family's faith, and it will cost them their trauma and maybe mental health, and that would be the price they would have to pay for justice. For me, I will hope the family do what is right or what is best for them, because this is quite dicey. I know how faith is very important to a lot of black families, and I can't imagine the trauma. I can't even put myself in their shoes, but I hope they do the right thing that they feel. Ordinarily, for me, I wouldn't mind getting a second re-examination just so that she can go to jail. Hopefully, she goes to jail, because she is a murderer and she deserves nowhere else in this world but the beds and the toilet seats behind bars. But you guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts.